My name is Gaby Hernandez Castillo. I was born and raised in Santa Barbara, on the Eastside neighborhood. It was a working class neighborhood in Santa Barbara. Most people don't know that we have like neighborhoods, hoods, barrios in Santa Barbara, but we do. Growing up, like you lived around people that were involved in gangs. That was what we were exposed to at a really young age. Like they were my neighbors, they were my family. So I knew that eventually, like that was going to be part of my life. And so that did become part of my life at 11 years old. Who maintains the tourism there? You know, you need a working force to maintain that city. But it's very intentionally hides working class communities. So you can see how growing up, youth of color were like harassed if we went to State Street, if we were on the beach. There was a lot of enforcement, police enforcement, to keep kids, especially brown kids, out of that area. It was as if we were needed, but we weren't really wanted. And because Santa Barbara is like this liberal enclave, the racism there was very subtle. There was a classism, racism that was subtle, like, oh, just be thankful that you have a job, be thankful that you live in the city, be thankful, that you go to great schools. So a lot of like internal shame that I feel like was developed. And then like, so if you were grateful, then you wouldn't want to like question the powers to be. I moved out of Santa Barbara, so I think I was able to see it from a different angle. I was like, wow, I can't believe like I lived there and I felt it, but I never recognized it. So I feel like a lot of people in Santa Barbara don't really recognize it yet because it's a survival strategy. Like I have to live here, I should be grateful, like I was saying, that whole mentality. It's become much more critical since our fight against the gang injunction and exposing a lot of the injustices there. People are now more like aware of the racism there.
Is State Street the border between East Side and West Side?
Yeah.
Okay, so the East Side has a barrio of its own and the West Side does also.
Right. Each neighborhood, like the East Side and West Side, has even different gangs within that neighborhood. But then the East Side and the West Side are like rivals. But on the East Side, there's like an older kind of veteranos gang. There's a younger gang. There's people from like speak different languages. There's a different gang for that. And then there was girl gangs in Santa Barbara. So actual girl gangs.
Okay, so are they separate from the main East Side Varrio, or is it all under one umbrella?
It's under one umbrella.
Okay. And tell me about your family dynamics at this time when you were 11 years old. Who were you living with? Who did you grow up with? And what was family life like at home? So
I grew up with a working mother. She was a single mom. And she was undocumented until she was able to had her documents in like the 80s. But had to work two jobs, one from 7 to 4 and then one from like 4 to 2 in the morning. So we never really got to see my mom, and we had to pretty much like watch for ourselves. I had an older brother and a younger sister, and we all kind of took care of each other. But there was a lot of lack of supervision. Nowhere my mom could really access like daycare for us. There wasn't after-school programs at that time, so we had to keep an eye on ourselves, and we were able to, hang out.
So it was just your mom and how many siblings?
It was 3 total, yeah.
And did all 3 of you guys eventually end up hanging out in the streets and getting acquainted with everyone out there?
Yes.
And tell me that the age differences and how it went from one sibling to the next sibling to the next one.
We were living in the neighborhood. Like we would come out of our front door and this was the neighborhood. We were like, we lived on one of the main streets where youth were hanging out. And it was different generations. So it was my brother, who's 3 years older than me. It was like him and his guy friends. That was one generation. And then it was me and my friends. That was a younger generation. And while the little kids were running around, my sister, who's 5 years younger than me, she was hanging out with her friends, that generation. So eventually you come of age where you start like claiming and hanging and doing things in the neighborhood.
And was this something you were able to hide from your mom? And when did she figure this all out?
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. And thanks for watching StreetTV.net.